I'm a French photographer actually. My name is Christian Logier from Paris, and I take slides wherever I travel worldwide or in Paris as well. And my collection is about 40,000 pieces. And this is my spares here, which are for sale or exchange as well.
Right.
That it is.
Right. You must spend an awful lot of time taking photographs of planes. How much time would you spend?
Most of my spare time, which is not really much, days off and holidays.
Yeah. Are you living near? How close are you to an airport that you?
Yeah, I live close to Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris, and not too far from Le Bourget as well.
Right.
Where there is a lot of activity.
Right.
Private, general aviation, and military as well.
Yeah, you get a great variety of planes into those airports. You know.
Yeah.
It's not a regional airport; it's a major airport.
Major airport with wide bodies mainly, but we do have some small aircraft as well, commuters, which are actually feeders for the wide fleet.
Right.
So
right.
It's a big machine, big airport.
How do you get interested in aviation?
Just by living near a runway. When I was 10 years old, I used to live near Orly Airport, and then I never left the area.
Right.
So since 1974, and I started shooting in '76. And since 1977, I work at the airport.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Would you have had a lot of pictures published?
Yes, I publish myself for Airways and Airliners in USA, and World Airline Fleets in Great Britain,
right.
and Skyliner in Germany.
Right.
But no French publication because we don't have any equivalent of the French magazines.
Right.
So far.
Right.
So far.
Have you ever, been unfortunate or fortunate, depends on your point of view, to photograph an accident at takeoff or landing?
No. I would say fortunately, never.
Yeah.
Just slight ground accident, I would say, but not accident really. Incidents,
Yeah.
like nose gear collapsed or any damage from another aircraft sometimes, or from the wind. Sometimes heavy wind would cause some damage to aircraft.
Right.
So, but no major.
Yeah.
No scoop.
Thank goodness for that. Do you have a favourite in an aircraft? Have you got a favourite aircraft?
I don't really have a favorite aircraft, but I like any aircraft which is colorful. A white aircraft is not really attractive, but an airliner with plenty of colors is really nice.
Right.
So, especially when you photograph.
Of course.
Yeah.
And what airlines were those? What would be your top, say, three?
Braniff was because it's no more current, and there are plenty actually which are.
How does
very
Ryanair
nice.
has quite an attractive livery? Would you say Ryanair?
Well, it's not too bad. Ryanair is not too bad compared to others, you know.
Yeah.
And as an Irish carrier, I would say it's even nicer than Jet Magic.
Right.
It's a bit.
Right.
But there is no airline that I don't like. I like them all.
Right. Of course. Well.
This is a hobby, so we can't consider an airline is not nice or another one is nice. There are cargo airlines which are very nice indeed if they don't need to attract passengers, like the new livery of DHL.
Right.
This flashing yellow and red.
Yes.
It's a nice one.
Yeah. And is part of the attraction for you trying to get something that you don't have? A plane that you don't have, is that part of the collector's drive?
It is very much. It's sometimes a challenge even because an aircraft sometimes it's very difficult to catch, or very difficult because it only existed for a few days sometimes. So this is very difficult to get.
Yeah. As a photographer, have you ever found yourself buying a photograph of somebody else just to complete a collection?
Oh yes, I do,
Yeah.
and I did today. Bought approximately 20 new slides.
Right.
So it's not only trading, it's not only selling, it's increasing the collection as well.
Right. Have you been up to our own airport at all? You would have flown in. Did you have a look around at all? At our own airport?
Dublin?
Dublin
Yeah,
airport?
I sometimes take pictures at Dublin.
Oh, do you?
On the ramp, yeah.
Do you?
Yes, I did.
You'd come over, would you?
Yeah, because I work for an airline here.
That's cheap. Yeah, that's very lucky. That's great. Well, it's nice to have.
Yeah, sometimes I have the opportunity when the weather is nice and when I have few minutes left before boarding back to Paris. So
Yes, yeah. Very good.
it's possible sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for talking to us. You're very
welcome.
good.
Thank you.
And the best of luck with the sales today.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks. First of all, who am I speaking to?
Eamon Blair
Right.
from Kim's Models.
Whereabouts is Kim's Models based?
We're located in the Windsor Market on the Bellegarde Road in Tallaght, but most of our business is through mail order.
Right. What have you got here today?
What we have is a large selection of die-cast aircraft and construction kits ranging from £5 up to €5 up to €100.
Right.
So one to suit everybody, really.
Yeah. How knowledgeable would you be yourself on these models?
Well, I'm in my mid-30s now. I've been making them since I was 8 years old. I originally trained as a chemist, but now I make them professionally, and I get more fun out of it.
Well, is it nice to turn a hobby into an income?
Well, it is, particularly when there are kits that I bought when I was a kid and I made a mess of them. Now I can make them for people and make a very good job of them, and there's great satisfaction in that.
Yeah. Everybody will remember Airfix models. They were I suppose the most popular type of low cost model plane to make.
That's correct.
But there's lots of other models now, isn't there?
Well, there are. I mean, Airfix are still in business, but they concentrate now on kits for teenagers, really. There are lots of kits from places like Japan and Korea, which are extremely good quality, but unfortunately the prices of them are high. That's the only drawback. Such prices tend not to attract younger people, because they just don't have the money to spend on plastic kits.
Yeah.
So there'll always be a need for companies like Airfix, because there'll always be companies to develop the hobby and keep it going.
Are there as many people assembling models as there used to be?
Unfortunately not. It's a dying hobby, it's a dying interest. Things like computer games, things like fight simulators, which you can see here today, have really taken the market. For us, kits sell best of all in the winter months when people have nothing to do, it's cold outside, they can't play football, and they want to go back to something they did when they were a kid. So they might buy a very small cheap kit and get some fun out of it. For every 10 kits you'd sell like that, 2 guys would come back to you. The rest would just throw it there until next year.
But it's a pity, because my own memories, I think most people, assembling something and create and building something has a great joy about it, and when it's completed there's a great deal of satisfaction.
There is, yeah. I mean, particularly in the States, there was a lot of work done with psychologists on kids who made models, not only of plastic but also of wood, who made them when they were kids. Their cognitive skills when they get older are much, much better. Their hand-eye coordination is much, much better, because they're used to dealing with very small items with tweezers and with a little paintbrush, and their coordination is very, very good.
Yeah. Because you're an aircraft man, would you frown at the boat people?
Well, no. I mean, we sell boats ourselves. I'm absolutely not interested in cars, but we have to sell them. The market in Ireland is small, so most model suppliers have to offer a very, very wide range of items, and that's what we try to do.
Well, listen, thank you very much for talking to us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for that. You're very good.
What we have here.
Come on.
Well, what we are, okay.
Yeah.
We're a group of flight simulator users, Microsoft flight simulator users. We call ourselves PC Pilots Ireland. We have about 250 members throughout here, and UK, Europe, and a few in Canada,
Very good.
USA, and basically what we do is we have 4 magazines a year. What we cover in that is all aspects of flight simulation, new products, reviews of products, and a little bit of real aviation thrown in as well.
Very good. And you have one on the screen here, and it's got an Aer Lingus. How did you manage that? How do you do that?
Well, that's free. You get that on the internet free, that airplane.
Oh, very
And
good.
with the Aer Lingus
Oh, you
ones.
can actually lift these off.
Yeah. And put them
right.
into Microsoft Flight Simulator, and off you go. Microsoft Flight Simulator itself costs around 70 to 80 euro for
Right.
the latest version, which is it's
Right.
excellent.
Yeah.
It's great fun.
Yeah.
PC you'll need for it is minimum of 2.5 gigahertz upwards Pentium 4 to run it.
Right.
Decent graphics card. I know this is mumbo jumbo to
No,
yourself and a
because
lot
it
of
uses
people.
a lot. These are
Yeah.
graphics programs, really,
Yeah.
and they consume a lot, so you want to have a good spec for them.
Yep.
So
And
what
they're
does a
power-hungry.
simulator do today that it didn't do 5 years ago, or the ones that we,
The earlier versions, but
Yeah.
they're getting better and better
Yeah.
and better every time. You get
Yeah.
now. What they do is they have more scenery in it, more airports.
right? There's a greater element of realism.
Yeah.
And that helps because, after all, you're like a model airplane flyer. You're bitten by the same attraction, I
That's it.
suppose.
That's it. Of course, there's over 5,000 airports in Flight Simulator, and they're not all. They don't look exactly like the real thing. They're basically shape-wise they're okay. They don't have detailed buildings in it. Not a lot of them. So you've got commercial companies who come along and they get designers to design airports, and they sell them in box packages. It could be a number of airports in it
Right.
that look like the real thing.
Yeah. Do we have any Dublin airports out there?
There's one here. You're
that's-
looking at Dublin Airport.
Oh, that's
itself.
very good.
That's free.
Really?
Free on the internet.
Really?
Yeah, some of our members locally who joined us, they got together and they designed it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And they put it up on their website, and you can download it for nothing and install it into Flight Simulator, and there you've got your Dublin there.
That's very good.
And if you want aircraft, you can get them freely available on certain websites.
This plane has just come in. Can you take us off? Can you?
Actually,
Right.
this is on a replay.
Oh, right.
I landed that a half an hour ago,
All right.
and it'll replay it. I just let it go. So it went off.
That's very, very good. So, and what kind of things do you have to do now? How dexterous do you have to be?
Well, flying the things like this, you got to know what you're doing.
Right.
You got to understand your aircraft, your speed, your approach,
Right.
and especially know where you're going and what you're doing.
This is it coming in now, is it?
Yep, that's the Aer Lingus A330 coming into
we're-
Dublin Airport.
Right, probably over Holt direction or some way,
Yeah,
are we?
just past Holt.
Yeah.
There, and we're just
Very
coming
good.
in straight on runway 29.
Oh, we're looking right down. That's very
You see the
good.
guys here,
That's brilliant.
and some of the buildings for Dublin Air or Dublin City itself are there as well.
Now, tell me technically, what speed are we going at, and what's our altitude? So that's all. Is it?
Well, coming in for approach. How far are we out now? 2 miles out to land.
400.
And this is what you get on the autopilot's doing this. This is a ground proximity warning system where all the modern aircraft have it. They tell you your height from the ground, and you come up there,
200.
and then it goes 100, 50, 40, and then slow down yourself and land
See,
it.
I think you're cheating there. You see,
100.
on autopilot. I think
Yeah.
I wanted to see you bringing this thing by the seat of your pants.
That wasn't on autopilot when I landed it, just a replay. But that'll shout anyway. That'll give out in the cockpit anyway.
You're just giving a demonstration of the
Yeah.
autopilot.
Yeah.
And
Like
that's you
that.
actually. That's you bringing it down.
Yeah.
So, what skills are you using to land the plane? I mean, what coordinations
Controlling
are you
everything.
using? Right.
You have to control
So, what
this.
are you controlling?
Your
You're controlling the
airspeed,
speed.
your attitude coming in, when to deploy your flaps, when to drop your gear, all that. When to turn, when to align yourself up for coming in on an approach like that.
Right.
As the real guys do it.
Right.
That's one
And
good
if you
thing
didn't
about it.
do it properly, what would we see on the screen?
Well, if say if your airspeed was too low or something, the aircraft will come down too soon. If you don't control it, she's not going to fly it properly.
Right. How long, with somebody who was interested in this, how long would it take them to be?
Practice.
Yeah.
Practice. It took me quite a while to get it all, to understand it all,
Yeah.
and then get used to it. And every aircraft is different.
Yeah. The characteristics are built
Yeah.
in here, are they, for the different
every aircraft, they don't all fly the same way.
Right.
Different speed, different approach speeds, takeoff speeds, everything.
Right.
And Flight Simulator, you can put in the wind, rain, you can download the real weather, present weather from
And
the
then
internet.
you have to deal with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tell me about some of the instrumentation that you have here in front now. Tell me, this is a refinement.
Yes, well, can't see it. I've got what is called a homemade cockpit, glare shield they call it. I have on it here a panel that gives me vertical speed, my altitude, airspeed, heading, and for courses. All illuminated in front of me here on little modules they're called, like that. And I've got things for my navigation equipment as well, all like that. Instead of having to click on the screen on Flight Simulator, I can just reach over here and dial everything in here.
Right.
Much better. Costs a few bob, but it's terrific.
Well, if you're enthusiastic and if you're good at it,
over
sure.
time,
I mean, you know, it's,
whatever everybody wants. The gift
Yeah.
about this is if you like props, stay at props.
yes.
You know, if you like
Yeah.
the older aircraft, they're all available for you as well. Whatever you want is there. Whatever you want, whatever you like, scenery, anywhere in the world you want to go to,
Well,
go for it.
Yeah, but it gives ordinary people a chance to actually fly, put them in a situation that they'd never really be in,
No,
and enjoy the thrill and the
the one
control.
thing you have to have patience. It's like learning a guitar or something. You've got to learn how to do it. And the Flight Simulator itself will help you because it has help files and all in it, telling you what to do. But it takes time and patience. And one question I'm always asked: If you're in a real plane, Terry, what would you be able to fly the real thing? No is the answer. Absolutely. I understand what they're doing, but fly the real thing? No.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
But when you are flying the simulator, be honest, are you flying a real? Is that mine?
You're doing real procedures. You're doing the procedures. Okay.
Right.
You don't have the feeling like if you're bumping around
Well,
in weather,
you don't,
but you're flying
But
as if
mentally,
navigating.
mentally, are you there?
Oh yeah, navigating. You're there and you know what you're doing.
Very
You get
good.
used to thinking ahead all the time.
Yeah.
Doing that. And
it must be great too if the wife asks you anything. You always say, "Dear, I've just come in from Bangkok.
He's up-
For goodness' sake."
where's Terry? In his cockpit again, playing upstairs, playing. It's not a game, you know. Flight simulator is not a game. A game has a beginning and an end. This goes on and on and on. And
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Well, and of course the technology just sucks you in, doesn't it? Because there's so many variables now,
Yeah, that's
and you
it.
get to fly different aircraft.
That's it.
Well, that seems like a great extension to the collectors and the people who are collecting photographs, that they can
Yeah.
go another step
Yeah.
further.
That's the difference.
And
yeah.
that's what you've done.
Yeah.
You've gone one step beyond.
This is only my interest in it is flying it like that. Okay, I'll go up to the airport here and have a look. All right.
Right.
See them and I go, there's an airplane there. Have a look for it on the internet and try it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that. And another thing we do, another aspect of it is flying on the internet. There's worldwide they've got an organisation called VATSIM, Vertical Air Traffic Simulator, and they've got guys at home with simulated air traffic controller systems on their PCs, and they all log on the internet, and I have live air traffic control telling me what to do on the internet.
Oh, very good.
And we do it regularly, every week.
Just tell me a little bit more about your organisation and when you meet and what you do.
What we do is, as I said, the main focus is the magazine. 4 issues a year.
And
all
again,
aspects
it's called.
PC. The magazine's called PC Flight, but it's for members only from the PC Pilots Ireland.
Right.
And we meet twice a year in Dublin Airport in one of the hotels. And the guys bring along their PCs and we get together and meet and plug them in and off we go for a day's virtual flying, as they say.
Very good.
You know,
Very good.
terrific. It's great hobby. www.pcpilotsireland.com.